Hi, everybody. Pastor Ken here with Rise and Shine. It's evening time on Friday night, and I've had something very interesting happen to me. I told it to my friend Greg Kiefer. He said, "Ken, that'll preach." Here's the story. My friends and those that know me know that I'm in show pigeons. There's over 300 different species of pigeons, and I have 24 different species myself here at the farm at Mountaintop Ministries. Right now I'm fascinated with a certain species. They are called Birmingham rollers. We have them in a separate box, 4 by 4 by 4. There was about 8 or 9 in there. And every day I go down, we get them out and let them sit on top. They're babies now, you understand, just very young. And there's a trap there they've got to learn to go through and come back inside for their food. And every day to do that, I just get in the truck from up here at the house and drive down there. I got the feed in the back of the truck and pull the truck right up in front of the kit box and feed them the food. There's actually 2 of them there. On the one side will just eat the food right out of my hand. They enjoy it. They hear the truck coming. They get to beating against the door. They just know who it is. Yesterday became the day when we let the new birds experience their freedom for the very first time. Up until this time, they have been up on top, been able to look all around, see the environment, but there's been a cage over top of them. Yesterday was the day I was going to release them as easily as I could, so that they could, if they wanted to, they could fly a little bit. No sooner had they been released and got into the air a little bit, here came a Cooper hawk. The female Cooper hawks are really huge. Males are a little smaller. Chased all of the birds out of the vicinity. Imagine the very first thing that they were going to experience when they hit the air was a huge Cooper hawk. My heart was beating fast. I got to be honest and tell you, I wasn't mad or upset like that. I was feeling hurt that I had exposed them, even though I know it has to be done. And when you know, they all made it back in except 3. Went through the trap. Now they're on the inside and they're safe. And I drove my truck down around there and I was just looking when all at once one of these 3 that was out came flying down. I recognized my truck and landed on the roof, on the hood of the truck. I couldn't believe this happened. Something spooked it a little bit, and the next move was back to the back of the truck where it landed on the leather cover on the back, or keep the food. Food's underneath that. I'm sitting behind the steering wheel, and there's a window back there with a small window in the middle that opens up. I pressed the electric button, and it opened up. And I saw the bird turn and look at it. I closed it. I did this 3 times. And on the 3rd time, the bird walked over and walked right through that window and into my truck. I touched the button, the window closed, it was safe. I put it back in its home. Today I took and was looking around, and here another one came in. There's no problem catching it. One of the most beautiful Birmingham rollers I have, brown with, light reddish brown with brown bars on its wings. Caught it, put it in there with the rest of them. Now there's only one remaining out. And all kinds of stories came to me. First of all, the sheep hear the master's call. They know who it is. When I go down there to feed them Birmingham rollers, they not only know me, they know the sound of my truck. They know the sound of the hood lifting up on the back. They know the sound of me getting the grain. I got a little thing that I rattle, and when I do that, they know it's feeding time, and they begin to cluster and flutter and hang on the door like they can hardly wait to get fed. That's what I call relationship. Relationship. I feel like I've been brought into their life for this relationship. These Birmingham rollers go up in the air and roll backwards, do somersaults, acrobatics. There's competitions for them. It's a very fun thing to watch. 4 gentlemen in our congregation have them. It's a hobby, and the Lord has been able to use me to win 2 of those gentlemen to Christ as a result of these pigeons. It's my job to feed them, to make them feel comfortable. And when you'll never know how that feels when I hold my hand out and I hold it up about 8-10 inches off the floor away from the feed dish. They literally come up and stand on my arm and eat the feed out of my hand. It almost reminds me of new Christians. They're so eager to learn, want to know more and more and more about the Lord. But then the moment comes when the door opens and they have to be shoved out into the world to make this work. Are they strong enough to withstand the enemy? And you hope and pray that the enemy will wait a few days, maybe a few months, before he pounces on them and attacks them, but he doesn't. Almost instantaneously, the enemy will come with his attacks and his thoughts and his ideas and his charms. And there'll be a moment of scattering. The perfect nest, the one that takes care of them, are all left behind as they deal with the enemy one-on-one. Will they make it? Will they not? Now, I turned 9 birds loose, and as I sit here tonight, 8 of them have come in. Honestly, I think the other one was a victim. I'm not positive yet. It still could come in, but I think the other one was overtaken by the Cooper Hawk. That doesn't change the fact that we have to open the door and let every person have their moment to come out and face the enemy. We can teach them, we can pray for them, but they have got to learn how to resist, maneuver, stay away from him, outfly him, and most of all, they have to learn who I am, their caretaker. And know that they come down and land on that truck, I'm going to open the window and let them in. If they come down on the kit box, the door will be open and they can go in. There'll be water there, and there'll be feed there from there, and there'll be home there, and they'll be safe there. Christians need to learn, baby Christians, new Christians, that they can always come home, even if they mess up. They can always come home. It's no sin to mess up, but it's a real bad thing to mess up and stay messed up. You need to learn where home is, where the master is, the one that forgives you and leads you, and the one that'll feed you and gives you safety. I think you understand the story that I've given you, the illustration tonight. The danger doesn't get any less. In fact, at this time of year, the hawks are migrating. They're heading south. Their food supply is dwindling because the baby birds in the nests, not pigeons, other baby birds that have been their food, baby rabbits, baby birds, have grown up or else they've already eaten them. And they're starving. There's a large percentage of them that succumb to starvation. Do I like hawks? They're a wonderful, beautiful looking bird. One of God's greatest creations. I just don't like them being such a threat to my pigeons that I care about. So they have taken on the form of the arch enemy. A beautiful enemy. Majestic looking enemy. And after all, that's the way Satan comes, as an angel of light. He doesn't come with a pitchfork in his hand. He's a very beautiful angel, one of the fallen angels. Let me tell you what I think the punchline is. I can guarantee you're going to be chased. I can guarantee that you're going to be challenged. But if you know where home is, and you know where safety is, and them birds know who I am, and they know my truck. If you know that you know that you know that the Lord saves you and loves you and will forgive you, in this, you keep coming home, and I promise you, you will learn to maneuver and outfly a hawk, which is the enemy, and you will be victorious. Thanks for listening to my little story. I hope that you've gained some spiritual insight. Rise and shine and have a great day. Bye.